Good morning. My name is Dr. James Buss. Over my career as a toxicologist, I have served as the president of the Society of Toxicology and served on science advisory bodies of the National Academy of Sciences, the EPA, the FDA, and the NTP. I am here today as a concerned scientist and represent the Styrene Information and Research Center, of which my employer, the Dow Chemical Company, is a founding member. I, Dow, and the styrene industry are keenly interested in protecting the health and safety of workers, customers, and the public. Objective, evidence-based reviews of the scientific research are essential elements in our decision-making about products and facilities. The NTP is globally recognized as an authoritative body. Chemical classifications in its ROC carry significant consequences for businesses, large and small, including regulatory actions and commercial impacts. Thus, it is essential that the ROC classifications represent the highest quality scientific evaluations. My comments today focus on three shortcomings of the NTP's ROC process and are based in part on issues revealed in recent ROC evaluations, including styrene. First, the ROC process is almost entirely ad hoc and lacks explicit criteria necessarily to assure consistency and transparency. Importantly, NTP's ROC process is completely silent about criteria needed to guide scientific evaluations at several key process stages. For example, draft monographs provide the primary rationale for ROC classifications. Yet the recently updated ROC process states that monograph reviews only include, quote, external scientific input as needed, for example, consultants, ad hoc presentations, expert panels, close quotes. A 2011 NAS assessment of the EPA review of formaldehyde details a number of scientific best practices for assessments of chemicals in general and points out that ad hoc review processes cannot be relied on to produce scientifically valid assessments. Indeed, evidence-based approaches are now being used by other institutions, such as the Institute of Medicine. Second, the ROC process lacks adequate checks and balances, including peer review and addressing outside or conflicting data. NTP's new process limits review by its Board of Scientific Counselors to NTP's initial draft concept document, which is akin to an outline of what the NTP's review intends to examine. Peer review of the critical draft monographs by external panels is left entirely to the discretion of the NTP, including the key steps of expert panel member selection and identification of review charge questions. In addition, interagency review of draft monographs is reduced to providing inputs that will only be considered at the discretion of the NTP and are not further shared with the expert panels or the public. Finally, draft monographs are presented to the NTP Board of Scientific Counselors for information only, denying this senior advisory panel any meaningful peer review. This is not transparent or credible peer review. Finally, the ROC fails to employ scientific best practices, relies on outdated approaches, and has not adopted recent NAS recommendations. The NAS has specifically outlined several fundamental best practices necessary to assure that the processes for toxicology-related assessments of chemicals are evidence-based, objective, and scientifically credible. The process used to prepare the ROC falls considerably short of those objectives. For example, NTP has previously stated that ROC reviews are based on strength of evidence, as compared to the more comprehensive weight of evidence analyses used by groups such as the Institute of Medicine. The ROC heavily favors findings supporting NTP's proposed listing position, while contrary findings are seldom given much weight. Although external public comment is solicited, NTP has stated, as a matter of policy, it will no longer offer any written response, thereby masking the existence of different scientific views. In summary, the current ROC process falls well short of producing evidence-based decisions. I urge Congress to oversee a thorough assessment of the ROC, ideally through an NAS review, to ensure that any future ROC listings are evidence-based, provide accurate public health information, and reflect the highest scientific standards in its processes, and to begin to determine the ROC's fundamental relevancy going forward. This will increase the public's and industry's confidence in the ROC listings and their applications to science-informed decision-making. Thank you.